Yes, now bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, signing in. We just listened to Nevermore, Dead Heart in a Dead World. Okay, 11 tracks. I've never listened to Nevermore before. My initial first perspective was it was going to be like the band Symphony X, Paradise Lost, maybe. Bands I don't really know too much about, but exist in this metal space that is a little more family friendly, talented and eccentric in their own fashion, but not controversial to any degree, and so on and so forth. Upon first listening, I was just like, I know a famous, well, I say famous, I think in 2025 it'd be an understatement, well, it'd be an overstatement, should I say, to say the guy's famous, because nobody in like the up and coming community cares too much about these virtuosos and these characters like people did in the 2000s, or at least they're more focused on up and coming younger virtuoso talents, you know what I mean, not the older generation. By this point, so many great guitarists have come and gone, like within the realm of metal, that I don't think to pinpoint a man being superb, amazing, fantastic just because he can play fast and play technical and play tight is like good enough. It's all about marketing nowadays, and if you can't market yourself in the now digital social media era, it's dead and done. The marketing's more important than your actual capabilities of performance. So I think, who's in this band? I said Jeff Loomis initially. Now, I don't know where I know the guy Jeff Loomis from. I don't know if I know him from an act external to Nevermore, but then second I thought maybe it's the guy who used to play Megadeth. And I think his, as far as getting to me is concerned, the pinnacle of that guy I'm referencing in Megadeth, even though I can't remember the guy's name, he did a Bet You Can't Play This, which I can't remember which brand or magazine that was for, and he played like some classical tapping piece, and he must have been in Megadeth for like 2 years, mate. Like, he wasn't in Megadeth for long. But I thought whichever band he was in external to Megadeth, that must have been the case. Now, where do we go from here? 11 tracks. 2000, I think this was released in. The production value is not great. It's not a great production. And it's not a re-release. Okay? So one thing you find with these older records by these bands that have established a large enough market to resell the same product is that you'll come across a remaster, right? This isn't a remaster. Now, don't get me wrong, I got put on this playlist by the individual who recommended it, but with that being said, I still can't identify a remaster. You know, through my general listens, there was no reference as such in related videos and dates of upload and blah, 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 blah. So there was no need for a remaster of this record, even though I didn't feel the production was that of an act a label is fully invested in. But that's nothing to do with the band. That's nothing to do with the writing. That's nothing to do with the performance. Let's talk about it now. This is a unique sound, a unique band. Maybe not in your world, but in my world, through my experience and journey through metal and alternate acts, this is a unique sound I didn't really come across until now. So the rhythms, the rhythm guitar and the drumming, but in particular the riffs of the rhythm, relatively basic, not problematic. We're drop tuned, I assume, and we are what I imagine are performing on a 7-string guitar. I would like to say it was drop A, but I'm sure someone's going to correct me and tell me something different because I don't know no better. Anything below drop B as a deathcore act, drop C, I can't identify very well. Or should I say, if it's drop B or drop C, I can identify that, but anything external other than standard, I can't identify very well. I can get drop D as well. Drop tunings, blah, blah, blah. The riffing is basic, respectively, compared to the lead guitar work. Now, because Jeff Loomis is a virtuoso style, or at least that's what I'm aware of him as, your reputation precedes you, that's what they say, right? Jeff Loomis is a name attached to shred guitar. And that's from an individual who picked up a guitar when he was young and went on YouTube in the early years and experienced these great guitar players and watched them and knew names purely down to the fact they played guitar. Jeff Loomis was a name that came up. Now, with the reputation preceding Jeff Loomis, you look at the rest of the band as session musicians to pedestalize and elevate the guitar solo. So, oddly, albeit good songs, you kind of devalue and diminish the value of the song external to the guitar solo because you think, well, this is all a product packaged to get us to the guitar solo. The halfway point, we stopped rhythmically playing riffs. And we started playing chord progressions, power chord progressions, which was a little bit hit or miss. There was some really good usage of this balladesque songwriting performance and a couple of misses, because for someone like me, I want to hear a couple more riffs. I want to hear a couple more toe tappers, a couple more stop and starts. From the fifth song onwards also, we started to incorporate the twinkling clean guitars tenfold. The vocal performance was good. I really enjoyed my first experience hearing the vocal performance on the first track, second track, because they were unique, they were new. The lower frequency vocal I thought was good because there was a degree of clarity, no overt, extra death metal grunting vocal. There was a good vocal. The guy's spectrum of register wasn't massive, but when he elevated into what his higher register was, we got into a little more of a, not a falsetto-esque, beautiful, shattering King Diamond performance, but a tone that was reminiscent to me of a King Diamond-esque vocal. And I liked that. There was a very fruitful vocal performance across this record, going into different ideas, different performances, different tones, and different applications of the guy's vocal capabilities, and I've got to put respect on that. Didn't pay attention to the bass line, might as well not have even existed. The drummer was okay. Nothing special with the drums, but I think the sound engineer has a little to answer for that. The sound engineer didn't, really allow the drums to be. But that's purely down to the quality of the record as the whole. It just is what it is. Guitar tone, a little bit doomier. Heavy, but what more needs to be said? If I was to rate this record, I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10. There's a necessity to develop from here. An Extreme Aggression, the person who has recommended this on the Patreon, has put us on to listening to a 2005 release, The Godless Endeavour, after this. So I'm looking forward to see where the act progresses and what they incorporate and what they detract from the sound, and see where we can go from here. On that note, I'm signing out. Peace.